Hey all, it's Mia with a new pair of glasses, and tonight we're going to talk more about these fires in Southern California. And if you're not concerned or you're not convinced that these fires were purposely set and have been allowed to burn out of control in a very erratic, non-natural way, then maybe you should tune in to some more of these videos. I know that plaintruth.info has done a lot of work on this subject, really amazing work. He's getting that out there, and I'm doing it as well because it might not seem like a reality because if it's not happening to you or in your area, but I promise you this, that there is either this coming to you, an area near you soon, or something along another lines. But guys, we definitely have cause to be concerned, and you need to ask these fire officials, where are you and what are you doing about it?
So here we're looking at Colorado's global supertanker airplane. This is a plane that is not being used to fight these fires, okay? So in one news story, it said it cost $16,000 an hour, but I have an article here on Fox 31 that says it is $23,500 an hour. So this is something that's been sitting around and has not been authorized to use. And so we're going to learn a little bit about what is sitting on the ground and not helping in these fires.
It's the newest addition to California's firefighting fleet.
I call this aircraft the world's largest super soaker.
The global supertanker is a former Japan Airlines 747 that's been converted into a retardant-dropping air tanker, and it's currently based at McClellan Field in Sacramento.
We push this very small button right on the edge, and that's what actually makes the fluid leave the aircraft.
CAL FIRE has put the supertanker on call for this fire season and used it for the first time on the Ponderosa fire burning in Butte County.
We are the largest tool in the toolbox. You might see us very effective in urban interface when the fire is right up against houses or structures.
The supertanker can drop 19,000 gallons at a time, leaving a retardant line up to 3 miles long, much more than the S-2 planes that CAL FIRE typically flies.
The S-2 would have to make 17 trips to do what we would do in one flight.
But at $16,000 an hour to operate, it certainly doesn't come cheap.
At no time, if that's the tool we need, will hinder the deployment of such a resource.
There was some controversy earlier this year when the U.S. Forest Service refused to allow the supertanker to drop on its fires. But California officials say they want to see how well it works.
Now what we need to do is evaluate its effectiveness.
And its performance this season could determine if the supertanker flies again on future fires in California and other states.
So ask yourself, does your government really want to save your home? Does your government have the means to put out these fires in one swoop and is passing on that opportunity? This is the technology that we have that we know of to put out these fires, let alone what actually started them to begin with, which most of us now believe to be directed energy weapons. So you're going to find, the more you pay attention to these ongoing fires, that not only were they purposely set in areas that aren't even close to each other, where we have these separate fires burning, but we have mounting evidence that these fires have been set by directed energy weapons. We have these fire chiefs stating that they don't know the cause of all these separate fires. I mean, come on. With the forensic evidence that we have available today and these trained firemen that can find out exactly what started a fire, they don't know what it is? Or do they know and they're being kept quiet? Because there's no way they couldn't know how these fires were set in this day and age. There's just no way, right? So as you pay attention to this and you see that these fires are acting very strange for a fire, and you see that we have the opportunity to put these fires out and they're not using it, what else do you need? Like, I don't understand. There's people out there that come on and comment on these videos, saying that it's stupid, that it's a conspiracy theory, we don't know what we're talking about. But if you would just take the time to look at the evidence, if you would just look at the full picture, there's no way to deny that this isn't happening purposefully. This is terrorism in our own country. This is a war going on right now in our own country. And events that seem to be separate, like fires, like earthquakes, like hurricanes that we've had in Houston and in Miami, right? We have the earthquake in Mexico. We have all these things that if you don't know the ability and the technology and the motive, then you wouldn't think that it was connected, but these are all connected. This has happened in the last 6 months. All of this has happened in the last 6 months, okay? So here we have a picture of a soccer field. I mean, does that look like a natural fire to you? I mean, really, just look at it for a minute. Just look at it, okay? How would a regular natural fire burn in that straight line and nothing around it is burnt? Nothing around it is burnt. Here we have one house that's gone, it's incinerated, and one that's standing without a scratch on it. How can that be? Like, how can that be? That is not how fires work, guys. Not at all. So upcoming here, we're going to see some stills from some fires. Nothing around it burnt. Those trees are still there. Nothing around it burnt. It's the buildings, it's the structures that are burning. When we have vegetation around that can burn, nothing around it, nothing. And we're getting no answer as to how these fires are being started. I don't know if they want us to believe it's some crazy person on the loose, just setting fire, some pyromaniac. That's not the case. It's not the case at all. We have evidence from Santa Rosa, California, and now in Southern California of directed energy weapons being used. We've seen lasers caught on film, and we have houses burning in rows where other houses are totally fine, and there's no path of a fire through there, guys. These fires are separate. So they'd have us believe that there's a group of fires just spreading along, in order, and that's not what's happening. That is not what's happening. And you have to understand that what you're watching on the news is orchestrated. The media has been taken hostage. We do not have, and probably have never had, media that told the truth in this country. So you've got to stop watching that stuff. And if you do watch it, you have to remind yourself constantly, what is the angle that's behind them telling us this story? What is the agenda and what is the outcome they desire when you're watching this? Because it's really hard to stay objective and not get sucked into some kind of story that they're selling. People should be outraged. People should be outraged. People should be marching in the streets. Are they under mind control? Is it the fibers, the microfibers we have in our bodies? If you haven't heard about that, go back and watch that video I made on the nanofibers. Is it the smart meters? Is it the cell towers, the Gwen towers? I mean, all this paints a pretty big picture of humanity being under attack, and it's happening in our country, and you shouldn't stand for it. And my job is to bring you this information. I'm disseminating this information to the best of my ability. And we all can't do everything, right? Everybody's got to pick something they're good at, a God-given gift, and use that, right? A few of us can't do it all. We can't organize and do everything that needs to be done, right? I'm using my skill, which is to get this information and give it to you in a way that is short and understandable, and maybe figure out what you can do. And so if everybody just does one thing, we might not be in this situation. We might be able to dig ourselves out. So anyways, guys, as always, stay safe, be good to one another, and God bless.